What's up and good afternoon, guys? Welcome back to another video. Derek! What are you playing there? The compressor mount?
It's like the strings, but it's just the tabs.
Okay. All right, Derek, this is like kind of like when we got your frame back. Like now we're making forward progress here.
Yes, I'm so
still got a lot of paint progress to make, but that's a story for another different time there. So Derek ended up getting his mount back. I mean, they don't call him Swift Powder Coat for nothing. Yeah. They actually hand delivered this to us yesterday because I had some more parts that I needed to go off to Powder Coat. So thanks to Bobby over at Swift for coming in, dropping this off and picking my stuff up. But now you're actually going to get to see Derek's whole air system in its entirety. Yep. Well, you're gonna see parts of it out of the truck, then it kind of has to go into the truck before the rest of it goes on, but you guys will get a good walk around now of his whole air system.
Yeah. The way this is gonna work is basically everything's gonna be done on the top side. The bottom side, the tank will actually be installed with the exception of the compressors. The compressors are gonna get a 3-pin plug, and that's how those can go on later. I just don't wanna do it all. The less weight I can add on this thing, trying to lift it up and bolt it in place, the better. But everything will be basically a unit assembly with the exception of the compressors are gonna be off. But they'll still be attached to the bracket. All I do is slide it up, put the bolts in, hook up a connector, compressors are in. So that was kind of the whole idea behind this. I'm not a big fan of like the whole crank units, but I like the idea of it being like kind of like, you know, a unit all in one standalone, and you just gotta plug in a few things and let it run. All right, so first thing we gotta do is we gotta get this plate flipped over. So that way we can go ahead and mount our tank. And then that way when we go to get everything plumbed up, it's just easier to work with, so you'll see. So we went ahead and put our solenoids on. As you can see, we've got these tabs right here that I actually welded to this plate. That's why I kind of wanted to mock everything up so that those would get bolted on by there, and that's what secures the solenoids too. So the way this works is you can see right here, we've got a fitting coming off the tank. So this is pressurized. We've got a, I forget what it's called, but basically you can meter this valve up or down to allow how quickly this air comes out of here. Goes through that hose right there, connects into this 90, and then this is into what I'm kind of referring to as the passenger side manifold. So we've got one solenoid that controls air coming in, which would pressurize this portion here, and then all the way here, this fitting would allow it to go to the bag. This is a pressure sensor. This will tell me how much PSI is on this side of the system, indicating bag pressure. And then this solenoid right here, whenever this one gets actuated, bleeds whatever pressure's on this side, allowing the bag to go down. So this is my up solenoid, down solenoid, pressure sensor for this bag, mirror on this side, so same exact setup, pressure for the driver's side bag, and then the tank has a pressure sensor right there, so I'll always know what the tank PSI is, and then individual bag pressures are. I think it's a pretty cool little setup. Now I do know that there's ride control or ride management systems out there. I've never been a big fan of those. I mean, don't get me wrong, like the auto level system is cool. There's still a way to kind of do it manually, and I might add that later on. It's pretty easy, but for what I wanted, I like the simplicity of this. There's no electronics or updates that need to happen. It's literally just a matter of button up, button down for each individual bag, or together, both up, both down. All right, so we went ahead and got everything pretty much done. Everything that's gonna be up and hidden and tucked away. It's pretty neat for it being tucked and hidden away, but if you're gonna do it right. So we've got a relay on each side. Each one of these is gonna control each compressor, but it's not really set up for like only one compressor to run. They're either both gonna be on or they're both gonna be off. I just don't wanna put too much amp draw through one relay. It's just as easy, have a second one. It's gonna be all right. So we've got these that are gonna go forward because I have that little stud up there that I have power already ran to. So that's what's gonna power both relays and the signal wire that goes through the compressor PSI switch. Once that basically closes because it's low PSI, it'll come up here and activate both relays. Then relays will both power the air compressors. And then that's these wires right here. I just have them like this because once this gets tucked up, this has to get ran through a spot in the frame that I already have designated. And then all of this will never be seen again. All right, I'm just gonna roll it back first. There's some wires I gotta get situated and organized. well, it's all back in. The wiring to the compressors isn't finalized yet. Honestly, just because I've ran out of the connectors that I want to use. But right now the objective is this thing basically has to be ready to go to alignment by the end of tonight.
We gonna have brake lines for this trip?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So again, you guys can see the kind of the magic with the Hoppos tank and the mounting system. Obviously right here we got this bracket coming off, nice cross member. Easily mount up 2 compressors. And then we also have a little secret surprise that's coming for Dedix and my tank. It's gonna be pretty sick and pretty custom. That'll also go off of like that similar mounting system. Now he's getting the air lines hooked up to his bag so we can air this thing back up. She's no longer sitting all the way down. Alrighty guys, tanks are, well, there you go, compressors shut off. That was perfect timing. Tanks are aired up. Do the thing, make it hop. Oh, okay.
Just throwing some wires into this D switch over here so that I can control it with my phone or this controller. I just, in a haste to disconnect it all, to get it all out to powder, I didn't label which was which, so.
Let's see.
This thing lit up. Oh, that's right, it's that, there we go. So then it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's kind of cool. You can either have it like this so it matches that controller over there, or you can use it like this. So the reason why I did 5, 6, 7, and 8, while on that controller, it's these bottom ones, I'm gonna more than likely just be using it on my phone, and that's left bag, right bag, up, up, down, down. So it makes sense in my mind. Boom. I messed that up. Oh, I did. Oh. So I'm guessing this is left bag up, left bag down, right bag up. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, it's quick. It's very quick. From the time I got here and got the plate to throwing it all together, it's pretty quick compared to most other air ride systems.
Hoppos already has the file that Dedix drew up for that plate, so you know, maybe you hit them up and they can give you like this whole setup.
He also has the file for the entire air ride kit.
That's a different conversation.
That's a you need to reach out to me when you have a talk, because there's some things I had to fudge and fix and stuff like that. So I just wouldn't send anyone off and be like, hey, you can figure it out. Which honestly, it's really not that complicated, but there's just a lot of things you got to know before you get involved in something like this. All right, so now that we got the air ride stuff sorted out, I went ahead and adjusted my axle real quick with my links. I realized that the axle was kind of back of where it should have been, so I just went in, 3 full rotations on the top link and only 2.5 on the bottom, just to give myself a little less pinion angle as well. I noticed it was pointing directly at the transfer case, and you don't want that. So I went ahead and fixed that a little bit. I'll throw my digital gauge on it just to make sure I'm where I need to be. But I've got all the room I need here between my bag and my track bar mount, which was my original problem. Now we got to go ahead and get these wheels and tires off so that I can put the calipers, brake pads, all that stuff, and then that way I can actually bleed my brake system. Well, sorry, I've got new extended brake lines for the front. Got to install those, and then I can finally bleed the entire system for the first time. Bada boom, bada bing, you know what I mean? It's right there. All right, well, we're in the process of swapping out the front brake lines. As you can see, original brake lines, the rubber hose. We've got that little like, I don't know, like that clip that retains the top side, and then the little block that does the bottom side. With these new Russell brake lines, you get rid of that clip, and there's actually a nut that you can tighten down in that stock bracket that holds that brake line, and then you just have a regular like a banjo eyelet there for that. They're actually, so it's labeled as a 6-inch lift brake line, pretty much the same length. So I don't know how that worked out, but hey, it looks like I've got extra length, so it's working. What up, everybody? We're over here out at the junkyard, just got to grab a few little tiny things for the truck. Well, one big thing. We're still looking for that one interior panel for the back. I've got somebody on Marketplace that has it. I just wanted to come see if I can't find it for myself first. If not, I'm just gonna run over there, pay the guy what he wants, pick that up. I've got some notes. There's a bunch of other like little tiny things that I need. I'm just gonna walk the yard real quick, see if I can't find it. Luckily, a lot of these GM parts and Chevy parts are interchangeable for a lot of those styles for that year. So I'm hoping we find what we need today. Then we got a few more places we got to get to. So we still have to go to auto parts store. We've got an output seal that we need to get for the transfer case so that we can actually start like filling everything up and actually putting miles on the truck. Got to hit up Harbor Freight, got to get some more consumables, some sandpaper, stuff like that. Alrighty, well, we spotted one of the first things we need. So I've already hit up like 2 or 3 trucks and got, you know, some small stuff. So one of the things is the hardware that holds the doors on and the actual like door swing stoppers. It's all matching hardware and it's like specific to the door. I noticed the ones I put back in weren't the exact ones, but same threading, same everything. And for how quickly I can just pop them out here, I went ahead and pulled 12 because there's 3 for each door, 1 for each hinge, and then the actual swing. So I went ahead and grabbed those just so I can swap them all out and they're all gonna match. The next thing I need is at some point during the whole interior fiasco, whatever, I believe I have the hardware that holds the seats down, but the hardware specifically that holds the seats together, I don't know what happened to it. Luckily the Tahoe's here, because that's the thing. Crew cabs, good luck finding them in a junkyard. At least the junkyards here in San Diego. I have yet to find one, period. I find extended cabs, those are a little more common, but you find Tahoes and Suburbans all over the place. And you just kind of got to find the right year that's going to work and match with what you got. And luckily for me, whatever the hell this one is, works, because the other one had this weird like step down in it. I think it was a Tahoe. This is a Suburban, I believe. This has a, so you just got to find the right vehicle, but a lot of this stuff interchanges. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this stuff yanked out, and then we got to keep moving because we got a long day. All right, so funny enough, I'm actually back to the vehicle I first found when I got here that I took all the inner door hardware out of, as you can see. And I remembered these trim pieces right here have these little, honestly I think it's the only spot on the truck that has them. They're like really short. There's other ones somewhere else, but they're a lot longer than that. But there's these little white clips that go behind them, and I do believe, I don't know if they got left in Jay's toolbox. Mind you, there's like 6 toolbox rolling around, boxes, but some of them went missing. Some of the hardware got misplaced. No worries. Came back here and they're all on. So went ahead and took the ones that were good off the other side already. I'm gonna go ahead and take these. I don't think I need all of these, but I'd rather just have them and not need them than have to come back and hope they're here. All right. There you go. Those are it right there. And then all you gotta do is just get your screwdriver and pop them out. They come out real easy because it's the screw going in, kind of like a wall anchor. It's the screw going in that spreads it out that actually grabs. So once you get that screw out, they're able to close fairly easily. All right, everybody, we have made it back to the shop. Had to make a bunch of stops actually. We went to Harbor Freight. I actually went ahead and picked the little hand rotary little compact polisher sander. There's a lot of little spots that like it's just hard to get a 7-inch wool pad in there and really be able to work it properly and not like mess it up or anything up. So I went ahead and got this. I want to give it a run, kind of see how I like it. I have a feeling I'm probably gonna end up keeping this in the truck and just using it to do like touch-ups and stuff. So we'll see how that works out. I hope it works as good as I want it to. It does come with like polishing pads already, but I just got another set because I don't think I'm going to use these right now. I think I'm going to use the ones it came with and then kind of keep these with it just to have like a clean set ready to go. We went ahead and picked up some more pads, picked up basically everything. I grabbed an 800 grit. I don't plan on using it. It's just kind of there in case I do need it. But I've noticed that I don't know how to word this properly without making it sound bad, but like I feel like the 1000 grit doesn't cut as hard as it could, which honestly is sometimes a good thing. I have 1500 in a different brand and I honestly felt like it was cutting harder than the 1000, but that other sandpaper, like, you got a good minute with it. It gummed up and you had to swap it out. These, you got to take your time with it, but they last so much longer. So it's kind of a trade-off there. We went ahead and went with 2 1000s, a 1500, another 3000 in that denim, another 4000, and then we also got our new interface pad because the one I've been using is kind of beat up. And then I'll show you what we got from the junkyard once we get inside. We did not get the big ticket item today that we were looking for, but I got everything else I wanted, so that's kind of a win. Went ahead and pulled the truck out just because Ryan wants me to minimize the amount of mess in the shop, and you know, that's understandable. So we've got that new Hercules interface pad on there. It's very it's not as soft as the one I was using before, but honestly that might be a good thing. We've got our 1000 sandpaper. We've also got the 800. Like I said, I don't plan on really using it. It's just here in case I get to a spot and it's just like taking forever. I feel like I'm not really making much progress. We've got that here. Let's get to work. Alright, well I ended up actually hitting everything with that 800. That 800 cut super quick. I didn't feel like at any point I was like, oh, it's getting a little too much, or it's like cutting too quick. So I kind of just ran with it. I stopped a little bit shy at the bottom just because it's really hard to get the polisher in there with the steps in there. So I'm going to kind of like feather that out. When I go with the 1000, I'm going to go a little bit further. 15 a little further, then the 3 and the 4000 will cover that whole entire panel down there. It's just a lot easier to get those finer scratches out with the rotary than it is with an 800 with the rotary. So I don't want to go too far and then end up not getting it. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and wet this all down and kind of wipe it down and kind of see what we're working with.
All right, y'all, I don't know where Derek left off in this video, but we are back. I don't like that we're popping the hood right now. Why are we popping the hood?
I want to check transmission fluids just to make sure, because it is kind of shifting weird. Okay. I don't know if it's a clock spring thing with that. I really got to adjust this thing. And then also, couldn't hit the switches, dog.
Oh, okay. So this is going to be kind of a maiden voyage. We're not going too far today. We're heading over to we're gonna go to Linex in San Diego because it's about time. One of the last steps, really big last steps on Derek's like exterior of his truck is, well, the bed's got to get Linexed. So Linex San Diego, the absolute best of the best when it comes to this stuff. So we are heading over there now, and Derek just kind of topped off a lot of different fluids and a lot of stuff. Looks a little empty.
Because it's that deep pan.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead and see if there's any fluid in here in the shop. If not, autocross goes in there first up.
If you lean it back, maybe the transmission fluid will go to the back. All right, so in true Derek fashion, he's gonna risk it for the biscuit. We're gonna drive it to Linex in San Diego, and then while Dallas is doing the bed prep, we are going to go get transmission fluid. downshifting. And I don't know if we've mentioned it yet. We aren't towing nothing out to Vegas. We're driving everything. So hopefully that truck makes it. Your shifts sounded fantastic.
Yeah, I won't talk about that right now.
Pull up easy on this thing.
All right, y'all. So we got that truck backed in. Thankfully, reverse worked. That's good.
Yeah, you gotta let it like drain all back down, and then it has enough to get it.
Okay, okay. So we've got, of course, Dallas, the man, the myth, the legend. This is like what, 7 minutes for you? Knock one of these bad boys out.
Yeah, in the video, it'll be 7 minutes.
We're
There you go.
down by like 3 times the amount of time it takes.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. So the cool thing about Line-X is there's gonna be little holes like this. Like you can just tape over that Line-X over that, and you still really retain like a lot of strength. This stuff's pretty gnarly, right?
Yeah. So we'll go through and hide up. Oh, there's some stuff we can hide, but we'll get all of these holes gone. Stuff go in there welding them closed.
Gotcha.
But yeah, we'll use a piece of tin tape and just spread over it, and it'll give us some strength there.
We won't show you crying in the parking lot earlier.
Nah, you can show it. That's just it sums up my entire week, honestly. That sums up my whole week.
All right, y'all. So the bed looks fantastic. Obviously, Dallas does a beautiful job here on taking an old beat-up bed and bringing it back to something that looks pretty damn decent. Unfortunately, so we didn't even show your door fiasco. We might as well let's just get it out of the way. I don't know if the door's coming back.
I don't think the door's
I feel like the front.
Let's talk about it.
Okay, come on. So Dedic's been working on this paint job.
I've been on a downhill spiral. Like, so do you want to show this first, or
let's show this. We started with this.
It's bad. It's bad. So I was using the little polisher, and I don't know if like there was something in the pad, or I don't know what. I was polishing by the door handles. I didn't want to use the big polisher here. And out of nowhere, it literally just instantly cut through the paint. Just it is what it is. That's all. Yeah, I'm not happy about it.
So that was how the morning started when I showed up. Dedic was like, "I'm done. I'm over it. I hate this thing." And then, well, it continues. So
it's right here too, Doug.
Is it still going?
Yeah.
Well, you're gonna practice a different style of buffing technique.
Well, great. I still needed to hit here because I didn't get the next one.
So the truck was masked off, and for some reason the plastic had some weird reaction here. Kind of gives it like a. Didn't Ford do like a Raptor vinyl one year that looked like it looks like a little reptile skin? We don't really know what happened. It's like the plastic melted into the paint or something. Something weird. It does not wipe off. We're gonna try to, I guess, buff this off and hope for the best, but we kind of tacked up a few spots here. Yeah. Now most of it is on the stuff that Dedic hasn't buffed or polished yet. Like everywhere else that he did, it's good. Like this didn't happen to. So yeah, we're not. This is interesting.
Yeah.
We just matte PPF wrapped the whole truck. You won't even notice. From over here, she looks pretty good. Alrighty, y'all, we are back at the shop. Dedic's truck got dropped off for alignment. It is back from alignment, so that's good. It is aligned. The other good news with Dedic's truck is those weird marks that were on the front from the plastic that we couldn't wipe off for the life of us. Apparently one day later, wiped right off.
I don't know. Truck sat in the sun for a little bit. I was in the middle of doing, because I like to do all the like the cutting and polishing stuff like early in the morning before the sun gets like it is now. It's kind of hot, and that dries up that stuff really quick. So it's good light in the morning, but it's also not too hot. So I feel like that's the most ideal time to do it. And yeah, I kind of was walking down from all the dust and just giving it a wipe down, and then went over and it was gone.
There you go.
Honestly, I didn't even notice it. I actually had to look for it. I was like, wait, where'd it go? Because I guess I had wiped it without realizing, and it just went away.
Super. I mean, everything with this truck is apparently as weird as it gets. I feel like you're happier right now. I don't want to bring up the paint, but I feel like we should just wrap up with the paint.
I'd rather talk about it now than earlier today.
All right.
Another individual came by the shop today, and he is also in the process of cutting and buffing his paint. And within 30 seconds goes, this paint is really soft. And I'm like, he's like, how long ago was this painted? And I was like, over a month ago. And he was like, there's no way. And I'm like, yeah, there is. And sure enough, Ryan had already done it, but he did the same exact thing. He came over here. Look, you can actually, I don't even need to do it. You can still see where the 2 other nail marks were just from pushing. Look, boom, another one. I put no force into that. I didn't dig my nail into it. My nails are dull. Like, yeah. I don't know what happened. I don't know what caused this, but I think that's leading to all of my issues because, like, one, like, I am terrified to go near this paint with, like, anything, like, 1,000 grit even scares me because it like almost, like, it doesn't cut until it does, and then it cuts way too quick. It, like, doesn't make any sense, and I've been struggling. Like, no wonder Genesis came by and was like, yeah, this is kind of weird. I don't know what's going on here. Even he kind of couldn't even get it to, like, really pop at one point, and it's because something's going on with this paint. I don't know if the clear didn't get enough activator or hardener or what, or if maybe this whole thing needed to get baked for a really long time. It's not really, I don't want to say it's wrong, but it's not really right, you know?
And a lot of you guys mentioned it when you guys watched the video of Dedic trying to polish this, the last video that we did. You're like, man, it just seems like the clear is really soft. It's gumming up your stuff, and it's kind of seeming like that's the thing. So maybe there was too much clear put on and it needed to get baked if you go that thick, but then there's certain spots where we don't really know. So Dedic is struggling. Obviously, again, this is kind of not real. I mean, he's buffed and cut some paint job on some square bodies.
Hell, I've cut and buffed paint 48 hours after on a square body, and I had nothing like problems like this. And it even, like, kind of brings us back to when we first did the tailgate. Like, when I even did it by hand, those scratch marks, even being a 1500, were going way too deep. And I think it's just because all this clear is way too soft. And also another issue to that is when you're cutting it and buffing it with a wool pad, if you get into a weird spot, there's, like, no time to stop it or save it. Like, the second it gets into a weird spot, it's gonna just basically shovel out that clear coat because it's so soft it can't hold itself.
So yeah, there's gonna be, you know, one of the things with this channel is we like to be upfront and honest about everything. And you know, from this distance, you guys wouldn't know there was anything going on, and 100%. We could totally be like, oh, dude, nailed it, everything's perfect, but that ain't how we roll. So this truck's gonna show up to SEMA without perfect paint, you know, and
it is what it is.
Not for lack of effort.
What was this truck from the beginning? It's a work truck.
Trailer Queen.
No, it's a work truck. It just so happens it's going to end up at SEMA. No. And honestly, for all of you guys on there commenting, like, well, why would Dedic ruin perfect paint? This paint was not perfect. Like, even when Jay first, like, started painting this, he was like, hey man, you're gonna have to cut and buff this. It's any paint job, like even factory vehicles nowadays are coming with orange peel, and that stuff don't look good. Like, it really doesn't show on camera, but there was a good bit of orange peel, and just, I mean, Jay had to paint outside, you know, for the majority of it. Like, things are gonna get in the paint. You have to cut it with sandpaper to get that stuff out. It's as simple as that. It was one of those things, like, something went wrong with the clear coat curing, and it just hasn't. It really hasn't, and honestly, it's becoming a nightmare. Like, even right here, you can see a bunch of little swirl marks, and it's because it's allowing those scratches to go deeper than it should, but then to get those out, you're basically almost removing the clear coat to get those out, and you've obviously, at some point you got to stop and say, I'm doing more damage than I am good, and you got to live with what you got.
Now that that's clear, we got some sick new lights on the truck.
Yeah, we did a lot of cool things today. So I kind of just, like, if I'm being honest, I've been in a low place, like, with this truck. I come into the shop, mind you, still working a full daytime job, and then shut up! Then I come to the shop with like a game plan and I'm like, I'm gonna do this, 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 and that, and it's gonna come out great. And it kind of like, you know, I've got like, it brings me down during the day and then I come back up because I get to work on my truck and like make it look better and cooler. And it's not happening. Like I do all my research at night. I'm up in bed till 2 in the morning, like looking on forums, trying to figure out, you know, has anybody else ran into these issues? I come up with a game plan and then it just doesn't work. Like things just, like every time I think I'm like, okay, I got this, I figured it out. Next morning I come and do something and it's just like, it almost seems like the paint's different throughout different times of the day.
Yeah, so as of filming, there is about 2 days left before we have to leave for SEMA.
Yeah.
And a lot of, but you know,
Done also.
yeah, I don't know if you're gonna see it too well because it's daytime, but can you turn your lights on for a second? Also, Dedic drove the truck home. That's kind of a big thing, you know, nothing fell off.
It went.
So we got the cab lights are all wired up, the mirror lights are wired up, obviously the Alpha X headlights. So we've got top sequence, bottom sequence, little sequence there, and it's kind of quick. It's kind of quick. We'll show you guys this more.
I've got the timer down on it. I think I need to bump that. I think there's a way you can do it through the menu. I just haven't had a chance to.
Gotcha. Oh, okay, so yeah, we've got the boost auto cab lights, boost auto mirrors with those lights, and then again the Alpha X headlights. There we go. Now we got a little longer sequence here.
Huh?
Better. Everything's on. Looking good, looking good.
You know what my favorite part was? Everyone was complaining. They're like, oh, the amber lights on the side are killing it, blah, blah, blah. It matches everything else. There's a reason why I picked amber side lights and not blacked them out. It's because everything else is matching now. So
there you go.
We thought that out.
There we go. We got a little win this video. Little win. So again, we got 2 days left. So you're probably the next video you're gonna see is you know, this thing has been all of tried. There we go. Look at it. We got a little okay, I was gonna say why are all of it going, but you got the hazards on.
Yeah.
So both sides should be going. There we go.
Yep.
So the next video you'll probably see of this truck is its maiden voyage.
Yeah, us leaving the
trying to drive this thing all the way to Vegas.
No,
with.
not trying.
Okay.
We are.
Well, you are.
Not gonna lie, Zach got Courtney tired. Definitely was like, bring a tow strap. You guys will be all right. And I was like, why are you putting that on me right now? I was like, why would you?
I was looking at a tow strap this morning, being like, I should probably just load my truck up with
AAA, right? No, Ryan does.
No, he wants to use our AAA.
Well, he got the first 100, I got the second 100. Who has the third 100?
It's 500 miles. No, it's less.
300.
Three something, yeah. Sorry, Utah's 500. So you got to make it at least 100.
He's halfway.
Yeah. Make it at least 100.
We're gonna map it out on the market like, woo! We're fired up!
We made it. What are you talking about? My truck got
halfway. No. We died right now.
All right, y'all. So we're gonna wrap up. We'll see what condition this thing's in at Vegas. So as always, thank you so much for watching. If you're not already, please click the subscribe button now that you do not miss out on any future content. Don't forget to give this video a like and a thumbs up. Don't forget to check out workforapparel.com because if there's anything you want in this life, you gotta go to work for it. I didn't do any. I don't think I did any code. A little Easter egg code in this one. So here's what we're gonna do. Normally we do one code, gives you a free $20 to the first person that uses it. But because you watched it all the way to the end here, I'm gonna do a 10% discount for everybody that uses this code. So we're gonna call this, I'm gonna have to probably put it on the screen, Dedic 10. So actually I'm not even gonna put it on the screen, I'm just gonna spell it out for you. DETIG10 for the next 24 hours of this video being live is gonna give everybody 10% off at workforapparel.com. Y'all are the best, we're out.
Damn. Yeah. Yeah.